rebounds, 8 assists on the night. He was all over the court doing everything he could to claw the way out of the deficit and bring home the victory. It didn't happen, but he did make his way to the podium. Let's go to Staples.
I mean, what do you think you can do better thinking about the next game?
Come out from the beginning and play harder.
We'll move over to Justin Russo.
Hey, Pat. The team once again got out to a slow start, falling behind by 9 early and then 24 in the second. Is it just an effort issue, or is it just like little things that you're seeing that might be attributing to this?
I don't know.
Move over to Tom Mayer.
Hey, Pat, just curious, how much has Coach Ty been instilling the pace and, you know, the driving into the paint and kicking out from there?
Every day.
Does he catch you mid-game sometimes trying to, you know, instill that in you mid-game at all?
Not only me, but the whole team.
Thanks. Do we have any more questions? All right, we've got Miriam. Go ahead.
Hello, Pat. Talk to me about like keeping shooting. I know you guys were all collectively pretty cold early, but kind of shot yourself back into it. And also just kind of, what do you make of these wild swings?
Just play harder.
We'll go over to Andrew Grice.
Hey, Pat. Obviously, this season, you guys have, as a defense, have allowed quite a few three-pointers. And I know Dan Craig's defenses in Miami, that was kind of a feature of those defenses, too. Is this sort of a defense this year where a lot of it's kind of live and die on how the opponent shoots threes?
No. Live and die on how hard you play from beginning to end. And I think that's with any team on any basketball game.
Thanks, Pat.
All right, kids. Patrick Beverley prefers to do his talking on the court. He's our CarMax highlight of the night, Corey.
Well, I just love Patrick Beverley just shooting the three. Like we said before in the pregame, 48% from the three-point line. He was very confident. I love that Kawhi Leonard made plays for Patrick Beverley to continue to get him going. But if he can continue to do this when their team is at full strength, and Don, we really forget about that. They're still missing Marcus Morris. Yeah. You didn't have 25-plus points from Paul George tonight, but just a valid effort from every single player on that roster. Nicholas Batum has been very, very special for this Clippers team.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Corey. You're missing PG tonight. Somebody's got to step up, and it was Pat Bev, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. And the threes, which PG's been providing for this team up to this point. So great job by Pat Bev tonight stepping up in PG's absence. Just wasn't quite enough.
So we try to find some silver linings in this. You know, you see a Clippers team that fought back, and you also see a Clippers team that maybe the shooting wasn't what they wanted, but they come out after halftime, and I felt like there was a little bit more of a commitment to get something going.
Well, you got to have pride when you're looking at the game. When you're down 20, it's all about pride at the moment, and you saw that Kawhi Leonard took over the game. But then you go into that fourth quarter, and you would expect that your bench would have more effort, and that was one of the lacks. You can't come into that fourth quarter and have a 10-0 run when you just fought back from 20-plus down. So for me, looking at this game, it's all about the bench really coming in to provide that first unit. If you're not playing the best, that second unit, you have to come in with that energy to energize your first unit to get your team going.
And a bench that was a little upset tonight, as, of course, it was kind of a last-minute scratch. Paul George sitting this one down because of the ankle. Luke Kennard moving back into the... And Don McClain socially distanced. Again, we talked about it at halftime. Kind of flipped the script. We watched a San Antonio team, Don, that's not really used to or caring too much about shooting the three right now. That's about all they did tonight.
No, and I thought in the first half, the Clippers' offense or lack thereof affected their defense. And then in the second half, I think their offense affected their defense in a positive way. They started making shots. It lifted their effort defensively. But, yeah, the San Antonio not known as being a great three-point shooting team. But, Corey, we see this all the time. When you let a person or a team get started from behind the line, sometimes it's really hard to turn them off.
And you know what, Don, it started by the turnovers early in that first half that really allowed the San Antonio Spurs to get out in transition. Lost that fast break points because they got out in transition, and it was easy for them to knock down 3 after 3. They were uncontested
There were 20,
shots.
in case you were counting.
It was uncontested shots, but then all of a sudden you have an impact off the bench. Patty Mills was hot. Every shot that he shot, the basketball shot with confidence. He knocked it down, but their entire team got in the mix of making those threes, Don.
Seems like Patty Mills, every time he comes in here, just lights the Clippers up from behind the three-point line. He's been doing it for a long time, so not surprising. But give the Clippers credit. They fought back. Their defense rose up in the second half, just didn't make the shots at the very end to close the game out.
And you brought up the turnovers, 13 by the Clippers in this one, patting Ty Lue on the back here over the last couple of games because the Clippers have kept it to right around that 10 mark and under. A difference tonight in this one as it translated to 18 points for San Antonio. Let's take a look at the final push to the finish here, guys. You thought the Clippers might actually have a shot to pull this one out. Pat Bev willing it.
Well, I tell you, Patrick Beverley had a tremendous game tonight, not just on defensively shooting the three, tied their career high for 6 threes. And then Nicholas Batum, what a great effort by him, getting that steal towards the end of the game. Right here, I thought, Don, that they made some careless errors towards the end from last-second shot. They had time. They made the right play. Kawhi Leonard had 10 assists tonight. This shot right here by Luke Kennard, that's a good shot. That was a great basketball play by Kawhi Leonard, being unselfish. But then again, you have that push at the end by Patrick Beverley.
But you know what, Corey? They got themselves in position, and that's all you can ask for. In NBA games, sometimes shots go in, sometimes they don't. I think that, you know, they executed down the stretch. The Spurs really didn't execute, but give the Clippers defense credit. But you gave yourself a chance to tie the game at the very end twice. And to me, that's really all you can ask for.
Kawhi Leonard, we missed him a little bit in Phoenix, understandably dealing with the mask, and quite honestly, it really was the Paul George show. But a double-double tonight for Kawhi Leonard and really kind of turned up the Jets when he needed to.
Well, he came into that third quarter. He was absolutely sensational. He made shot after shot. At one point, the team was 10 for 11, and a lot of those came from Kawhi Leonard being aggressive, putting the team on his back. And right here, he got to a spot, Don, a lot at that mid-post position to continue to score during this game.
I would say I would take it one step backward, Corey. If he doesn't step up in the second quarter, this game gets completely out of hand. The Spurs already had a double-digit lead, and then he just decided he was going to take over. Yes, it was 19 at halftime, but I think if he hadn't done what he did in the second quarter, it might have been 30 or 35 at halftime.
The double-double, 30 points, 3 rebounds, also 10 assists for Kawhi Leonard tonight. Did you guys feel like he looked a little more fluid out there, maybe dealing with the mask a little bit more? I don't know how many more games where he's going to have to wear it.
I think it was incentive when you're thinking about this former team against the San Antonio Spurs, and you don't want to get blown out by this team. And in the third quarter, he really put on that Superman cape to really carry this team.
Yeah, I think he's getting more comfortable with it. Like we talked about in the pregame, I'm not sure how much longer he has to wear it, but a good sign that he finally broke out tonight with that mask on.
You know who's looking comfortable tonight?
Me?
Patrick Beverley. Well, always you. That goes without saying. But Patrick Beverley, we're going to